Yes, another company. Weapons! Weaponize. Scary. It's a tough name. But apparently this film has been making waves in the scene, and for good reason, man. You see the original first trailer, and the moment they set up the groundwork of what this was supposed to be, a sort of abduction story, but mystery, if you will. But with any good story, it's all about the build-up, my dude. And that is where Weapons really takes a step above the rest. If you didn't know, Weapons is the same director of the dude who did Barbarian. And if you know how Barbarian ends, things go there, right? You could even akin it to something like that one guy that directed Parasite, Ho Soon? Can't remember names like that. But it's an interesting new way of approaching the element of uncertainty, right? You're there, you're experiencing, you're put in the shoes of one person. First and foremost, it is the school teacher who is now missing 17 kids from her classroom, which is scary to begin with. I mean, you think about how unruly kids are and just how free they are, and then you think about, well, they're gone now, and that's scary, man. That brings terror in a different limelight, something that even I, maybe with experience you start being sensitive to these things, but man, I did not think it would be that like appalling. And we go there. We have a group of people, or a town, who is now facing this happening, this occurrence, without any answers, without any leads, and we just don't know what the heck is going on, man. But we go. We see perspectives. We experience the moment. And by the time it is masterfully pieced together, like, you see how all the the lines intersect, and then you see what is being presented to you, and even then it's just this feeling of like, whoa, we're going there, or we're doing this, or man, this is actually happening. So it brings me a interesting perspective, because if anybody knows the Higurashi series, or Umineko, yes, that's getting very to the niche, we have a interesting way of presentation, and I do believe that there is a lot of influence when it comes to these endeavors that come from these people. Warner Brothers specifically here, vroom vroom, borrowing from maybe Japanese media, right? We know that Warner Brothers has a big foot in the animation side and the Japanese production transferring. But it's cool to see them actually learning a few tricks. And again, we've just talked about how Kill Bill by Quentin Tarantino is essentially a inspired remake of Lady Blood's Snow. Yes, Snowblood. Lady Snowblood. And that proves that you can take source material and put a personal slash interesting slash unique twist on that, and you can make something out of it, right? If there is enough passion, if there is enough drive, desire, then yeah, you can make it happen. So when I see like those kind of elements being picked from the Japanese medium and put into Hollywood budgeted materials, I get excited. Akira. It all goes back to Akira. And yeah, man, so that's what we have here. We have this, I feel like we're giving it a lot of credit and high praise for good reason. Like, it does this really good job of building up this mystery and also putting you in the shoes of the townsfolk, the parents, everybody out there who is freaking the freak out. And then it bundles it all together and it simplifies it at the end. And while maybe you don't believe or don't want to accept how these occurrences are going, but man, they pulled it off. They pulled it off, man. Because at no point did I go like, oh boy, here they come with their BS and like their mumbo jumbo. But it makes you think, and maybe that is just like the natural response to like predatorial environment. Like, you just start being like, whoa, Darwinism, let's try to survive, yeah. But sitting in that chair and seeing them work their magic in terms of presenting things, laying them out, giving you some credible information, and then layering that with their sense of like wonder, and you go, is this real? You go, oh crap, can this happen? Is this possible? And that right there is the horror, the uncertainty of just being immersed in this moment, so fully drawn in that you start to believe. And that is scary. So, if you have not seen Weapons, there's a bit of things that you should probably not get too potatoed out, but all I'm saying is, man, it's fun. It's interesting. We're getting the narratives that are inspired by people who have seen the light. And that is very exciting, because only when we combine the shadowness of uncertainty with the light of knowledge, experience, can we actually get the final product that, I don't know, the chemical reactions that will create art, magic, beauty, whatever have you be, whatever it took to make this happen, as long as we're still on the right page of like, yo man, let's actually be good about how we do this. And we're not here to harvest the Japanese culture and the Japanese medium. We're here to uplift that shit and bring our own take to it, make something fresh while also respecting the original. So, Weapons, exciting, scary, or nerve-wracking. I don't. It's just a feeling, right? You're in a movie theater and the tense scenes are happening, and you're like this. You're like, okay, I can handle this. It's all good. And then you just hear like a little in the corner, and you're like, what? It's pretty intense, man. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for them, but it seems like they were having a good time. So, if you're available, if you have the guts to look darkness in the eyes, then, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Weapons. Brand new to the market. I'll give it 6 out of 7? 6.5 out of 7? It's supposed to be getting like super fresh Rotten Tomatoes score. Not that that means anything, but again, you should experience it for yourself if you're curious about it, because it is that good, or it is that surprising. So, you know, ignore everything else happening around here. It's only flavor text. You don't need it. All right, just don't look away, and go watch it whenever you can. But speaking of strange harvesting, damn son, you just do that. Exactly, that guy. Yeah, yeah. Strange harvest. Okay, let's start off this way. I I can handle gore, right? It's natural. What gets to me is the process of the body and its functions, and understanding how when you cut through that, certain elements are gonna make you feel a certain way, and the visceral reaction of understanding how each nerve ending will hurt makes the immersion feel possible. And I wince because it's like, oh, ow, and that's why I try to steer clear from like murder mysteries. But any good man will tell you, when you get out there, there's no escaping the freaking podcast, the true crime podcast, and so you gotta build up a little bit of resilience to that, if you will. Why do I say that? Strange Harvest is one of the interesting storylines. I don't know if it is a legit thing. I want to say that most of the the interviewed actors were actors. You know, there were certain scenes I felt like that acting was being played up, and I was like, okay, thank God it's not real. And halfway through this presentation, because again, it's not just a movie, it is body cam footage, it is records of historical moments being stitched together. Because halfway through this movie, I had to convince myself that none of this was real. For my own mental sanity or health or sake or whatever, I legit remember having to take a deep breath and tell myself, it's not real. But true crime is real. So that's where that lies. We have the Inland Empire. Those of you that don't know, we have Long Beach, Huntington Beach, Glendora, and Los Angeles, Inglewood, and Moreno stuff, and Anaheim, and Fullerton, and Orange, and all this Inland Empire is like, it's where the monies is more concentrated. So you will find nice big houses with big space because no one wants to go out there. But you'll also find the shitty dirt roads that are just kind of like, well, that's all we really need. So like, why the fuck are we gonna make asphalt in here if we're just gonna be hanging out in the street or whatever? And that in itself makes things understandable, right? So when we start going about true crime, murder mysteries, how certain people are being targeted, and how all that's kind of building up to this, why who is this guy? Why is he killing all these people? And what is his end goal, right? Normally the appeal to any true crime podcast or whatever is the idea that you're trying to think like the murderer, ladies, and you're there to analyze how he operates, and you're there to dissect their behavior, and you want to be like True Detective or something like that. So that that's great and all. That's cute. But then you get to the part where the killings start happening, and you start to see certain characteristics, right? Certain things that make you think, like, what are these symbols supposed to mean to this person? If there's someone out there who is so twisted enough to ruthlessly take countless lives back to back to back, what do they hold as pure? You know, what do they look at as something to protect, something to love, to care, or to even fight or kill for? How skewed is one's mindset if you're already destroying lives without remorse, without maybe even with the analysis of the repercussions and what those actions mean in the future? Even if they understand that, they would still go through with their actions, and that is something that is just appalling in my brain. And it's strange because you don't really know. You don't know how many people see things that way. So yeah, a good part of me was like not feeling great during this film because it hit close to home. These are people who are not like sponsored by the bigger companies. We've talked about the Shutter films and how they find funding through certain areas, and that way they're able to do their own ambitious takes on a project. And yeah, this was very damn well presented. You have the cold case study, you have them doing interviews, you have them just putting information, and it feels so real. It feels like this could have happened. I don't know if it didn't, because I don't remember anybody saying anything about mass murders recently in 2020, 2010, but I also don't doubt it, man. Actually, there was a murder recently. Murders recently. About the homeless guy in the river bed. Ha. So I guess that's why. I'll level with you. These things have happened before in my timeline. So it's more it's more of a question as how deep does this go, and if this person was so committed to this ritualistic tendencies, who did they learn it from? Because let me tell you, Joshua Tree is real. I've been there. And shit goes down sometimes. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Strange Harvest, as the name implies, is disturbing in many ways. From the gruesome kills, from the aftermath of the bodies, from the presentation of bodies, and it hits exactly how it has to, I guess. If these people came out there with a mission and to present this a certain way, which I believe they did. There's too much care and credit put into this to not actually take it semi-seriously. And that's where I lie with that, man. People are intense. People are gonna be people. I just want to see our reaction to the unsupportive people and try to figure out how we can work with them. Not necessarily exile if possible, but definitely at least try to figure out something. But again, once you get past your 10th kill, it's like, bro, I don't think we can communicate the way you think we can. So stay safe. That's my final piece of hello. Like, hey man, it's rough out there. Ladies, mace, pepper spray, I don't know. And just be we're gonna be fine. We're okay. It's not happening. It hasn't happened. It's not real. But October is coming up, so let's just keep our heads on straight. Yeah, no pumpkin patches. But hey man, if you want to know something scary, true fear in my enemy's eyes, then you should ask David Franco and Allison Brie, because man, together, yo, hey, dog's not moving. There you go, dog. Dave Franco, I think, was Green Goblin? No, that's his brother. So Dave Franco is the other Franco's younger brother. Green Goblin's younger brother, right? So he's been around the movie scene for a while. I do believe this is his first time back in a cool minute, though. I don't think I've seen him around in many things. However, you bring Allison Brie to the picture and you're like, all right, he'll do a movie. So what is together, man? Well, as the name implies, relationships are a complicated thing, naturally. You're essentially bringing two developed, semi-developed minds, putting them in a room and telling them, hey man, you guys either mingle it out, you guys either find ways to like interact safely, comfort each other, communication, or this is all gonna blow up somehow. And that's life. That is 1000% life. Because it brings a scope to the picture. You know, a lot of people, I think, in this day and age, and you know, take it as through a grain of salt, don't have the capacity to actually nurture a healthy relationship. What does that mean? It means patience. It means kindness. It means compassion. That's a Bible verse. It means that you have to be able to look at the shit, take a deep breath, and be like, okay. But this, I don't know. Somehow people rationalize relationships. Less and less so every day. But I am of an old-fashioned mindset that when you are actually serious, you actually look at each other and you go like, hey, I'm gonna dedicate the time that I have to building this with you. If you can do that for us, then we can do anything. But you need a strong foundation. You need belief. You need trust. None of that superficial bullshit. You have to open up to this person and confide in them, and that person has to take that information and keep it to them fucking selves. Why? Because only together, without the fucking interaction of outside services, without the distraction of the big ass World Wide Web, then you can start building. You can start creating. And yeah, that's uncomfortable because, again, you have a life. You were born, you learned, you educated, you worked, you built, you developed. And now this other universe is slowly attracting to your orbit. And you have to decide what that means, what that impact will cause. The cause and effect, man. Do you have it? Do we have it? In this age of instant gratification, one day shipping from Amazon, constant updates on just social media, interaction with people who don't really know you, is it possible to even believe that there is a chance for a couple, a relationship to not only begin, but grow into something that most people might not ever see? Companionship. Sex is great. I love sex. But if 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 you don't feel the right emotions for that human being, that's not sex. That's just fast food. Sorry. Because when you lay down, when you display yourself, your body, your emotions, your being, and when you commit to sharing that moment, that intimacy with someone who has taken the time, been through the bullshit, has gone through the growing pains of becoming someone you can believe in, a confidant, then yeah, that is terrifying. Because you're no longer just one person. You are the dreams, the hope, and belief. And while you still carry your own aspirations, you gotta remember, this is a team game. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, if you're planning on going out there and talking to someone and being nice and being like, hey, what's up? Go do it. Just be cool, be nice, be respectful, have fun. You can be cool about it. But just understand that that relationship can only go so far if there is actual care being put into it. There's actual work being expressed. There is a communicative desire to understand, and hopefully, I still pray that one day I can find something as valuable as true companionship. It's getting harder out there, I'll be real with you. But I am who I am, and I believe in what I believe, and I not only like, but I love who I am in the way that I've done what I can to just be who I am, and that brings me a appreciation of even just the time that I spent. And for me to say, yes, madam, woman, lady, my lady, I will dedicate my very limited time, my shit resources, and these outlandish hopes and dreams. I can believe in them while believing in us and what we can become. And who knows? The future is always changing. You know, there could be a war that breaks out tomorrow, and then there could be a shift in world powers, and we would be left to figure it out, right? So why make it complicated? So it is complicated, but there's the beauty there. So David Franco, Alison Brie, maybe not the greatest actor on David Franco's part, but I think with the way he kind of acts with his body, he really does a better job presenting that. So it's okay. I like I like both of their works in this film, and yeah, just seeing the slow descent into like madness of like, no, stay away from me, it's too real. It's real. It feels, relationships are a complicated thing, and it's always a pleasure to experience them from a different perspective and like angle than just actually getting your heart broken. You know what I mean? So with all that being said, man, go take care of yourselves. Number one, look after your childhood. You make sure that you, even if the universe did not prepare you, as in give you what you might have needed growing up, that you yourself find ways to acknowledge that and take that into you and go forward, not through hate, but through understanding and acceptance, right? Not just rejecting the fact that it happened and pushing all those emotions down, but feeling those emotions and asking yourself, well, what could they have done? What could we have done? How could any of that have helped me? And just going through that and trying to fill in what you can. With obviously time waits for no man. So there's some things that you can never rekindle or go back to, or even just forget. But it's part of the journey. So again, just go do you, look into yourself, feel confident in what you are. You don't have to be the greatest shit in the universe. You just have to be okay with just walking down the street, and that will go a long way. You'll find your footing. You'll learn your stride. You'll get your stride. You'll learn something that you enjoy benefiting in and learning, and hopefully, not hopefully, just more of a like, if the universe allows it, then when that person finds you, then you'll know that person will have the qualities that you have been waiting for. That's the best way I can put it. It's a big world out there, lots of big fish, man. But as long as you're swimming and you're having fun, then hey, maybe things ain't so bad after all. The world's beautiful. Just gotta learn how to appreciate it. And that is why we watch horror movies. Damn it, because things always get so much worse. But here we are. And yeah, I quite enjoy what these films are doing these days. I believe that ever since A24 or A21, 4, came out with their projects and started bringing more of this deeper context, and even just then, just more of a expressive like way of presenting mental issues or like thoughts or like presentations of just personal struggles that even we might be able to learn a thing or two. Pretty damn cool. And if you get super crazy like I am, then maybe you can see the underlying tones of everything that they're trying to say, and you get activated. Whatever that means. But hey, till then, you got Weapons, Strange Harvest, and Together. 3 different flavors for 3 different days. So if you get a chance, hopefully you can check out those first 2. I believe they're all still running. Together was out recently. I just didn't have time to do the review, and I figured I would just mash it in with the other horror films. So glad it all worked out. Now I have to debate whether I want to go watch Freaky Friday and Bad Guys 2. So I mean, if I had all the universe in the world, I'd probably go. I probably wouldn't have an issue doing it. It's just more of a other things I want to squeeze in throughout the week and that I don't have all of that time for. But hey, that's why you keep it locked in here. It's your boy, EXP 626. Having fun, wishing you a good time, and wishing you buena mañana. But until then, thanks for watching. Yeah. Matane. It's Pierce the Veil. No, it's Sleeping with Sirens, sorry. Yosh!